Reader, what was the first thing you bought from your first paycheck? Well, I will answer this regarding my first salary job versus hourly payrolls I took on while I was in school. I took the entirety of my first paycheck and bought my now wife's engagement ring, an exhausting path that she supported me tirelessly on. My first step was to show her how much I appreciate everything she's done for me, and that I have no doubt that I want to build my life with her. We just hit 10 years of being together and have a beautiful family. It's the best decision I ever made. 16-year-old self straight to Applebee's and ordered the largest steak on the menu, my first steak ever, as our family of 4 kids and 2 parents couldn't afford to have it on the regular family menu. The only one who ate steak in our home was my dad. Every week, in front of us, while we ate whatever else was there or my mom cooked. She didn't get steak either. When we got older, he sometimes even had us prepare it for him. Same thing goes for lump crab meat, spiced shrimp, oysters, etc. He ate it. We did not. I don't remember what I bought from my very first paycheck, but I remember the big thing I did when I got my first paycheck from my first grown-up job. I paid off $500 in credit card debt instead of just making the minimum payment, and it felt so good. I got stuck in a bad few years of underemployment while taking care of one of my parents, and the debt situation wasn't good by the time I landed the job. I just lived minimally every paycheck until the credit card was paid off after a few months, and the feeling of relief was so good. Probably put gas in my parents' car using my own money. I recall, my first summer job was with my uncle. He owned a smaller electronics components business. When he gave me my first paycheck, he was like, that is your first paycheck ... You should keep it and frame it. It'll be a nice souvenir later in life. Like the hell you talking about? I want my money back then. The check could make its way back to the company and if he really wanted to, he could have given it to me after it was deposited. Sega CDX Multi-Mega. Pretty sure it was a couple of paychecks ... I think minimum wage then was $4 an hour. My first games was ... Echo the Dolphin, Org Wiki Echo the Dolphin, and Sewer Shark. Ooh, look at those pro graphics. Rent. This was back in the early 2000s and I had just moved for my new big girl career job. Apartment needed first 3 months pay by cash or money order, and I was super broke until that paycheck. I needed to pay my rent the day my check deposited. It hadn't cleared yet, so I couldn't just take it out of my bank. But they said I could take it out of a branch of my company's bank. So I drove across town, took out more cash than I'd ever held before, and drove straight to my apartment's office. Hyperventilated the whole time. Can't remember my first paycheck from my first job, but my first paycheck from my first job out of college was spent on a flat-screen TV. It was 2006, and flat screens were still pretty new. And the only TV I ever had was a 19 CRT that was pretty much a cube. Went to Best Buy and bought a giant 32 flat screen for like $700. Also, the guy mistakenly brought up the wrong model to the front, so I got one with a built-in DVD player for no extra cost. I didn't realize until I got it home and out of the box. Triple Baconator from Wendy's. As a child, family dinners were outrageously belligerent and disruptive. When dinner started, we'd all say grace followed by thanking our dad for food. Then mid-eating he would explode into an angry rant that nobody appreciates anything he does. Then some freestyle rant that would make all of us lose our appetites. After dinner, we'd have to thank him for dinner again. That first meal I purchased myself and ate in peaceful silence was the best meal of my life. A foot-long sub-sandwich, a bag of chips, 2 sodas and 2 ice cream cones from a gas station. I grew up in exceptionally poor conditions and started working at age 12 to create a better life for myself. Almost all of my money went to savings, but every paycheck, I would purchase the above for myself and a girl 3 years younger than me. We would split the sandwich and chips. Her mum was a raging alcoholic and she would eat whatever she could get her hands on. I just wanted to help. A 14-point 4K modem to replace the family's 2400 port modem, 20 components, 20 and 20 accessories modems, Cardinal 200 2420 board, 20 modems, 2019-91.pdf. I was paid under the table for summer work over several months with a single check at the end. With my new high-speed modem, I made CSLIP and later PPP connections to the internet from home and later off-campus housing circa 1993-1998. Only replaced once cable broadband became available. First paycheck, but after I graduated college and got my first career job. After I stabilized my finances about for 6 months for my first real memorable purchase, I bought my dream car. Luckily, I have cheap tastes. It is a manual V6 Mustang with low mileage. Because I don't drive very much and take good care of it, I am hoping it's the last car I ever have to buy. And surprisingly, due to the crazy used market, it's worth nearly as much as I bought it for. First paycheck was insane money for me at the time, something like $600, $800. I'd never seen that much money in my life, let alone held it. I cashed the first one instead of depositing it just to see it. I took my friends out for Buffalo Wild Wings and feasted, then went to the movies. Stupid and irresponsible, but it's a fun memory, and we all enjoyed ourselves without having to beg our parents for money. Don't know, maybe gas, but at the same time I destroyed my old phone, kept it in a pocket that didn't drain whilst working in the rain. So I forked out for a new phone, €300, and had one known issue: if it was an early production model, crapped out, lost some pictures, sent it for repairs, to this day still going strong. Just bought some spare parts in case I need to do my own repair. I don't remember what I got with my first actual paycheck, but when we were 10, my best friend and I went door to door shoveling snow and saved our money. When Jurassic Park came out that summer, we went to see it and got fast food at the food court. Still one of my favorite movies and movie-going experiences because we'd worked for it together. It was also the first PG-13 movie we saw. I bought new tires for my Impala F7014 Tiger Paws with raised white lettering. My favorite story was my buddy's. He went to the bank and asked them to cash the check. He held it for a minute and then asked to open a savings account and deposited it all except for a few bucks for spending money. He had never held that much money in his hands before. He was pretty excited. I attempted to buy a new bike for this paper route I'd been doing for about 4 years. Went to go pay for the new bike and found out my parents had been keeping the money. Lived in military housing, so it's not like they paid rent or anything. My mum just didn't want to work. When I was 16, I got a job at Burger King. Bow me and my friend's shirts from Hot Topic. LOL. This was 36 years ago, and I bought a Dungeons and Dragons box set. LOL. It's why I got the job, really. I ached for it for my birthday, and my parents refused because at the time, it was what you hear about now, but with online gaming, addiction, poor choices, etc. So looking back, I bought it and well, I think I used it once. LMAO, to be 13 again. Savage first couple of paychecks making minimum wage at a grocery store to buy $900 gaming computer in high school. I quit not too long after. My first summer back from college I got another shit job over the summer and saved enough for a golf not too long after. Didn't exactly scream go-getter, but I'm very motivated by incentives. I honestly don't remember. I do remember what I got with my first tax refund. A 32-inch flat-screen TV and a PlayStation 3. I was so stoked because all my friends at the time had a flat screen and PS3. I was so excited I ignored the ice on the road and slid into the stop sign on my street coming home from picking it up. LOL. Knocked the sign over. I was 15, probably clothes or makeup. That's why I got the job. I was babysitting but wanted a regular paycheck. My parents bought us the necessities, but couldn't afford much. I wanted money to go out on the weekends and wear nice clothes. My parents never charged us any room and board when we started working. I had friends who had to pay rent. 5 books by Daphne du Maurier. Spent half of my measly internship stipend on those. Still have them. That was the first time I had bought books with my own money. My parents had supported my voracious reading habits till then. We were not super rich, so often I didn't get all the books I wanted. So buying these 5 books were a treasure for me. 1986. Working at a grocery store in Seattle. Paid $3.50 an hour, and my first paycheck was $37. I went to Sea Galley restaurant and bought myself dinner at this fancy restaurant. The first time I'd ever bought myself dinner alone. I think the bill was like $9, and I remember not being totally clear on tipping, so I left 50 cents. Goodness. Had my first part-time job at 16 or 17. So does that count as a paycheck? Even if it does, that's like 45 years ago. I probably bought some food item. First professional paycheck. That's still over 40 years. I was living in a crappy apartment in Brooklyn and working in Manhattan. Maybe I bought a fry pan or something. Who knows? Grateful for what you got, so basically candy, little toes and some tissue paper, and 3 veggie tails asparagus guys for me and the couple friends. Then took my mum and stepdad out to dinner at probably Rudy's Tacos or something. And I didn't even get to teach that Sunday.